Amen. וידבר אדוני אל משה לאמור. צב את אהרון ואת בניו לאמור. זאת תורת העולה היא העולה על מוקדה על המזבח כל הלילה עד הבוקר, ואש המזבח תוקד בו. ולבש הכהן בגדו.
My name is Ariana. I'm 13 years old and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Eli and I'm 13 years old.
I am Shai Tzor. I am the father of the bar mitzvah children.
Your name for the camera, please.
My name is Vicky. I am the mother of Eli and Ariana. I think before we start talking about the whole process of bringing in webcams and bringing the Sefer Torah and all the rest of it, I think there are a few things that are very important that we need to clarify. First of all, I think that it's important to say what a bar mitzvah is. What is a bar mitzvah or a bat mitzvah in the Jewish religion?
It's like when you become an adult in Judaism.
Through doing what?
Through reading like the Torah and leading the service.
When a Jewish boy becomes a Jewish adult.
It's basically a coming of age. And after the whole rigmarole that we went through, you may be surprised, I don't know if you know this, Leah, but actually a Jewish boy and girl are automatically bar or bat mitzvah when they reach the age of 12 for a girl and 13 for a boy. So in actual fact, none of this is strictly according to halakha, according to Jewish law. None of this is necessary. The idea of bar and bat mitzvah as we know it now comes relatively recently from the rabbinic times, round about the 15th century. And what it has turned into is a coming of age ceremony in front of the congregation. And for me, this was a big part of what we prepared for before coronavirus, and a big part of what I really tried to keep when we did the actual ceremony.
Well, I mean, a big thing was we didn't really know what we were doing. You know, when you set up for a regular bar mitzvah, there's a protocol and people know, you know, what you need to do to set up and how the rehearsals go, and it's, you know, it's pretty well documented. I think the biggest challenge that we had with theirs was that this was the first time, you know, obviously it was the first time we'd done it, but it was also the first time anybody at the synagogue had done a bar mitzvah like this. So we were, you know, really needing to figure out things as we went along.
I wanted as many people as possible to be able to join in, which they could. Sending out Zoom invitations to people, making sure that that my mum and that others were able to join in, those not so technologically savvy. That was very important. I'm not sure. The other ways, as I say, it was all very quick. The other ways that you set up were all in the last 2 weeks. And we've been planning this for months and months.
On the day of, we ran a thing from our kitchen because we needed a space where they could have a lectern that they could read off of, and the kitchen island was the right height. So we had the webcam on a tripod connected to a laptop with the microphone set up on another tripod in front of them. And we had that facing them. The camera was facing into the living room where we had the ark behind them. Now, what was nice that in traditional Judaism, the ark needs to face east, and it turns out that our living room faces east. So that was a good coincidence.
You're sheltered in place. We couldn't even go to the synagogue to have we couldn't even have it in the synagogue, as in the rabbi would come and we would be there, and you guys would be there, but we would have a camera, so our family members would be doing it.
I mean, the biggest challenge for setting up was, mostly figuring out the technical pieces. So what pieces of equipment do we need, and how we're going to get this equipment, and how we're going to, get the sound set up and the microphones set up on the one hand. And then technically, when we had to sit and work with the members of the community and the rabbi and the education director to figure out, how we could have the prayers on the screen alongside them, and how we could shift back and forth between people who needed to read.
When we wanted our original plan to have family say blessings over the Torah, over the kids, for example, my mother and my brother together, we realized that that was not going to happen because each one of them is in a different place, and it was complicated enough to be muting and unmuting people if they were all in the same room, let alone if they were on the other side of London. So then we had to rethink our list of honours and who was going to be honoured.
This other dude from the synagogue came with, helped us with, the sounding and stuff, because it'd probably be bad if no one could hear us.
I think I sent so I've got up there the first 4 readings. Do you see that in some way that makes sense?
My priority was to get a Sefer Torah from the synagogue for the kids to read from, although it was suggested that we could do it with them reading from a prayer book. That wasn't going to do it for me, I'm afraid.
The biggest challenge was, we had a Torah scroll, getting a Torah scroll to the house.
We were very lucky that the synagogue were accommodating and trusted us with the Torah.
The synagogue has a mobile ark that we use for the high holidays when we move out of our regular synagogue. We go to different places to incorporate the bigger crowd for the high holidays.
But because of the whole no contact thing, getting the Torah to our house was quite a performance.
This lady from the synagogue,
the head of our synagogue, the woman who dropped it off,
came and got the Aron and the Torah and shoved it in her car, and then she brought it to us.
Had let us know that she would drive up and she would open her car, and that Shai and I would take it out, and that there was to be no contact. She wasn't going to be helping us pull it out because coronavirus, right?
You'll take the ark into the house, then you'll come back for the Torah scroll.
Okay.
So it was a crazy. It was a crazy experience.
Okay, this bag wants to go into. Okay, move that just off to the side, David. Can I have your assistance here for a second?
Yes, so we made arrangements of the time that she would come, and she texted us before, and she pulled up outside the house, and there were various bags and other things that she dropped off that we needed to take, gifts for the children from the synagogue, and the Aron. The Aron is the cupboard, if you like, the container that the ark that the Sefer Torah is kept in when it's not being used.
This is the parocha that you'll see when you go to put it in the ark. It just hangs like a curtain. This 10 Commandments goes on top of the ark.
Okay.
In this bag are the gifts that are going to be presented to your kids on Saturday.
Okay.
Except honestly, we can't find the certificates.
Okay.
So you have empty frames.
Okay.
Super.
Right? But we'll find them and we'll get
That's
them to you on
fine.
Friday,
That's
or
fine.
we'll get them to you in May.
Yeah.
And in this stuff is book bag is stuff that I thought you could use. There's a chumash, there's some sidurim,
Okay.
okay? And the Sefer Torah.
All right.
Wow.
Thank
you
you
so
so
much, Ellen.
much. Well, thank you for your flexibility.
And then we set it up at our kitchen table because that's where we had it, because there's like a good countertop there.
I was worried about where we were going to keep it. Should it be on the dining room table? Should it be in the kitchen? I'm looking around. Where else can we put it? We don't have any other big table. Thinking maybe we should have brought in a podium or something, and all these things were going through my mind. But then, it was what it was, and it was good.